Alright, this is Brother Peter again with tidbits from the Word. We're talking about holy living. Living holy. The book of Micah says in it that we should live holy. Micah 6 and 8 says that our Christian life should be descriptive of Christ Himself. We should be a carbon copy of Christ. It's like we were talking about. If you're liking it to things in the world. Let's say if you build something, a prototype, the next thing that is built is supposed to be according to the prototype. If the prototype's been investigated, been checked out, and it works fine, and it doesn't really need any improvement, this is it. We've improved, we've worked on it, and our prototype is right, then that's what we're supposed to do, follow the prototype. Well, Jesus was our prototype, spiritually speaking, for our Christian life. And He was our prototype. And He walked across this nation. And He looked for those that were ready for Him. Jesus looks for those that are seeking Him. If you're seeking Jesus, you will find. The Bible says, if you're seeking me, you will find me. And the thing about it is, if we're seeking Jesus, we will find Jesus. He has come and left us a book, this Bible, His Word, that we may be able to find anything we need to out of it for our own instruction. And this is where we are today. It is physically necessary to feed our bodies, to keep them healthy and keep them going every day. It is also spiritually necessary for us to feed our spiritual bodies every single day to keep them going, to keep them to do what they need to do. This is not a very good sounding thing. But if your whole system in your body does not work good, if what you take in every day, if your intestinal system is not working good, so that you could dispose of some that you take in every day and keep that which is good, you're physically going to get into serious trouble. And that's the same way it is spiritually. What you take in spiritually every day, you need to deliver some of it out so that your spiritual life won't canker, so it will grow too. You can't just keep piling it up and be a pew sitter. The same law that covers us physically covers us spiritually. We have the same law, the law of development, day by day, day after day. We have to be built stronger and stronger. We have to become stronger spiritual beings day by day. And the only way you're going to do that is by getting into Word. Get into 1 John, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. He talks about the man being well put together, being out to serve God, being without sin. The man from the inside, the spiritual man inside of this body needs to be without sin. Without sin. How do you do that? Well, you put your heart after God, and then the soul that God looks on that's pure is without sin. The body? No way, Jose. The body is going to always have a problem, a sin problem, and will until we die. And the way to knock that down a little bit is to try to serve the Lord in a capacity that you'll be pleasing Him more than yourself. Integrity. What is integrity? What is virtue? What is virtue? Daily virtue. What is integrity? Daily. That's to be the same. To be the same every day. I have people asking me every day, are you a preacher? I say, yeah, well, I'm a lay preacher. I'm an evangelist out of the church that I go to, Faith Baptist Church. Well, what is an evangelist? Evangelist is a man that evangelizes. What does he evangelize? That word's awful close to vandalize, isn't it? But evangelize is taking the word of Christ in your heart and carrying it everywhere you go and delivering it. Everywhere you go, spread it out. Spread it out and deliver it everywhere you go. That's what evangelism is. Do you have to go to a big church and preach to thousands or hundreds or thousands of people to be an evangelist? No, you don't. You can be an evangelist in your own area to one person at a time. And by the way, it's the one person that you want to reach. When you're speaking to a crowd of 600 or so, when I'm speaking to a crowd, I ask the Lord to give me the attention or the eyes, or to meet the eyes of that one who is worshiping God, who is fully interested in what's being said, who God has made a connection between myself and them. It may be a 12-year-old girl. I remember going to one particular service where I was spurned in a great way by the whole audience. Nobody was interested in hearing what the Lord had to say to them through me. But this one little girl down there, she had a pad and a pen and a Bible. And she was writing down what was being said. I focused my eyes on that girl, and I preached a message for that girl to put on a piece of paper that will give her later on in life a good life. And she'll remember that's probably the only time she would ever see me, the only time I would ever see her. But she had a lasting impression on a piece of paper written down that she could go back to in the Bible and see God. And that's what it was. It wasn't seeing me, Brother Peter. It was seeing God. And the rest of those people got out and left within, I had closing prayer, and when I opened my eyes, there's nobody left in the room but the girl. And that's all that mattered. That's all that mattered. Jesus went after the one. When he did the 10 lepers, only one came back. When he talks about the virgin, when he talked about many things, only one showed up. You know something, if you're going to do these excerpts with Brother Peter, you need to lay aside everything for a few minutes. You need to lay aside your premonitions or your thinking or your saying, well, this guy, is he going to be worth watching or not? Am I going to learn something or not? And by the way, I need to get back in the Bible here in a few minutes. I'm just talking right now about regular Christian living, about putting the things of the world aside. Did you know that I do this every day, and I have a battle. I had a battle this morning to come up here, get on this machine, and do these this morning. My human desire this morning would have already been to be in my truck, to be headed 25 miles the other direction, to pick up a helper and get back here and get to working physically. That is my physical desire. So I have a divided mind this morning, and it's a war. It's a war between physical work and spiritual work. And it will always be a war. And it's going to be a war for you to sit and listen. It's going to be a war. Undivided attention. God requires our undivided attention. And that's what I'm doing right here this morning. I'm giving him my undivided attention. We have to walk the talk and talk the walk. Walk the talk and talk the walk. I said this the other day. If you is what you was, then you ain't what you think you are. If you is what you was, you ain't what you think you are. If before you asked Jesus Christ to come into your heart and save your soul, you was a certain way, and if you look in your life and you find that certain way is still with you, then you ain't what you think you are. You haven't crossed that bridge. I'm working with a young man. Went to see him yesterday. I'm working with a young man that says that he got saved a long time ago. Never got baptized. Never started following the Lord. Still in alcohol. Still in drugs. Still in mind problems. Still in everything. What happened? He made a profession with his mouth, but not with his heart. And this week we're going to work on him getting his heart to where his mouth is, and see that he needs to cross that bridge physically as well as mentally. Doing it mentally is one thing. Doing it physically is a total different matter. Have you been able to lay down the world since you asked the Lord to save you? If you haven't, you might ought to check your salvation out. Salvation's not just in feelings, even though you will have feelings. Salvation's in action. And those actions sometimes don't bring good feelings. They bring bad feelings. But those actions are very important actions. Dismiss the things of the world right now, if you can, and put Jesus in the forefront. Dismiss all the things of the world, put Jesus in the forefront. My desire is to help me grow daily. To help this body crucify itself daily and to bring Jesus forward daily. That's my desire. My desire for you would be the same exact thing. Would be to bring the life of Christ out of you daily. In order to bring the life of Christ out of you daily, you have to put the life of Christ in you daily. Now, this is my advice to you today. Young reader, older reader, I don't care who you are. Get the 23rd Psalm out. A very few words in the 23rd Psalm. But the first two words is the Lord. Stop. Pause. Muse. Get you a pad. Get you a big yellow pad like this right here. And write down the Lord right here. And then take you a good study Bible and fill this page. Fill it. That's a start on the Lord. One page start right there. You could fill this whole, both sides of every paper in this right here on the Lord and not exhaust this pad. I mean, not exhaust the searching of the Lord. You'd exhaust the pad, but you wouldn't exhaust the Word. That's just the Lord. Now, come to the next thing. Is He your shepherd? Wow. And the Lord, after that. Now, after you've discovered who the Lord is, discover, is He your shepherd? Is He your shepherd? People say this previously. Everybody knows the 23rd Psalm. People in beer joints, people in the world. Everybody knows the 23rd Psalm, but they don't know it. They can say it with their mouth, but they don't know it in their heart. You want to know it, you've got to get in it. Get in it, get in it, get in it. Now you take another pad or another piece of paper, turn one page, just do one page. Don't blow your mind on the first study that you do. But take the next one and find out what a shepherd is. Go through the books. Go through your Bible. Go through the secular books. Get some books on Ireland, on places where sheep herders are. Learn about the sheepdog. Learn about the sheep herder. And learn about sheep, what sheep are. Sheep are dirty little creatures. They only weigh about half as much as they weigh. What's underneath that fur is a little bitty body. And underneath that wool, you cut 100 pounds of wool off a sheep and you got a 70-pound sheep standing there. A little 70-pound frame. A little poor looking little thing. You say, golly, is that same sheep? Yeah, it is. But you've taken the wool off from him. And if we sheared the wool off from us, how big would we be? If we sheared the worldly wool off from us, how big would we be? Listen, I've got to go, and I didn't even get going yet. Didn't get started good, but I've got